Hey guys, and we're here for the MCAS question of the day today. So let's hop right into it. Here is our question of the day. Bring it up. We have this question dealing with systems. We have considered the systems of equations. Consider this system of equations. H plus C equals 2.25. H minus C equals 1.75. And then the question is, what value of H makes the system of equations true? Okay. So what we have here is we have to talk about what a system is, and kind of like at its most basic level, for all intents and purposes, for the sake of what we're doing here, we can understand a system as just two different equations that are lined up like that, one above the other. And again, for the intention of what we're doing here for this MCAS prep, a system just has two different variables in it. Okay, in our case, in this problem, it's the H and the C, and those variables apply to both the top and the bottom equation, and they have to have the same value in both the bottom and the top. So really, essentially, all it is an algebra problem that you have to make sure that the numbers work on both the top and the bottom. And if they work on both the top and the bottom, then we say it's a solution to the system, okay? So in order to do that, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but this is a pretty simple one, and it's a pretty simple way that you can do it. So let me bring up my camera so I can show you the simple way that we can do it. Here we have the problem written out here. H plus C equals 2.25 and H minus C equals 1.75. Okay, so bear with me for a second. Remember that if we wanted to, like let's say I had something that said x plus 4 equals 12. Okay, if I can do whatever I want to both sides of that equation, can I? As long as I keep it balanced. We've been learning that in algebra forever. As long as I make sure I do whatever I do on the left side to also the right side, let me try to make that less blurry for you, then it's okay. For example, we solved this because I say, well, I'm going to subtract 4 from this side, and I'll also subtract 4 from the other side. I won't solve it because that's not what we're talking about. But I'm looking at this top equation here, and I'm remembering that there's a thing called the addition rule of equality, which just means I can add things to both sides of that, and it will remain the same. So now that I look at the second question, and you'll say, well, Mr. Palin, H minus C isn't the same as 1.75, so I couldn't really just combine things and work it out like that. But doesn't the equal sign mean that the left side is the same as the right side? Isn't that what an equal sign means? It's exactly what an equal sign means. They're just represented differently here. We don't know the numbers yet, but we know that they are equal. I hope you understand what I'm getting at here, because what I want to do is I want to just up and down combine all of these terms, because I know I could either add 1.75 to both sides of that first equation if I wanted to, or I could add H minus C to both sides of that equation if I wanted to. It would be all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and combine these. I'm going to add this entire thing to the top equation. So I have H plus H, and that's going to give me 2 H's. I have C minus C, and that's going to wipe out the C's. There's going to be nothing there. And then I'm going to write an equal sign, and I am now going to just add together 2.25 plus 1.75. So I always like to think of when we're in nice groups of 25 here, I always think of money. So $2.25, and then another $1.75. So 225, 325 plus 75 cents is going to be 4 with nothing left, no change, right? So I have 2H equals 4. Now we call this method for solving systems, it's kind of the simplest way to do it, the elimination method, because look what I did. I was able to get rid of one of the variables, and now I'm only working with one variable. And that's just a simple one-step equation. I can just divide by whatever's attached to the letter there. In this case, it's 2. And now I find out that h equals 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I have the solution to my problem right there. Now, if this is a different type of problem, and it wanted me to also find out what the value of c was, I would then go and plug in the 2 up here, and then I'd minus 2 from both sides, and I'd get an answer. I'd plug in the 2 there, minus 2 from both sides, and I'd have another. But this question only, let's go back to it. This question only wants to know what one of the variables. It only wants to know what h is. So once I wipe out those c's, let's even do it right here. If I was taking this test in class right now, I would just go right on there, and I just go, bonk, see you later, gone, gone, okay? I'd add them together, 2h, add these together, and then divide by 2. And of course, my final answer would be 2. So I write, this is really hard to write with the mouse, write 2 there, and then I'd have to bubble in 2 on the sheet right there. And that's what was scary about this, no multiple choice. You actually had to come up with an answer for this one. So that's how you do it. It's as simple as that. It's called the elimination method. It gets a little bit trickier when it's a bit more of a complex system, but really that's the basis of it right there. You just solved a system using elimination, and it honestly wasn't really that bad, was it? It was pretty easy. So again, it all comes back to, do I know the vocabulary? Do I remember these certain methods? And that's a big one. Systems are big on the MCAS. The elimination method is big on the MCAS. So we'll be working more with things like this, but that's all for today. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks.